My name is Peter Spangenberg. I'm from Germany and I would like to welcome you to my daily activities as head section of neurosurgery in King Faisal Hospital. In neurosurgery we deal with diseases, mainly surgical diseases of the brain and the spine. So I'm doing these types of operation, brain and spine surgeries. Actually, I'm a German, so I was born in Germany. I went to school in Germany and did all my specialization for my profession in Germany. And then, more or less by fate, I came to Saudi Arabia, and this was almost 7 years ago. The thing that brought me to Saudi Arabia was my profession as a brain surgeon. I spent not only time in Germany for my career. Of course, we have to travel a lot to conferences to be updated and to see the newest developments in science and neurosurgery. So I went to many places like Japan, China, USA, and other North American and Southeast Asian countries. And one of my friends who I met on conferences long ago, a bit more than 10 years ago, invited me to spend 3 months in Abu Dhabi. So this was my first encounter with Arabian or Gulf area countries. So I spent a few months there. I was working there, and for me, I found it very interesting. It was absolutely new, culture-wise. And I realized that the way of doing this profession already over there was very, very professional. Then I heard of King Faisal Hospital in Riyadh, one of the top hospitals in the Arabian world. And that made me very curious about it, and I got some very, very amazing positive information and news about this place. So I got in touch with some neurosurgeons here and the administration. And luckily they invited me to come for a testing period of 4 weeks. And this was almost 8 years ago, or 7.5 years ago in August. And I experienced a very positive culture of welcoming foreigners, because I look different, my name is different, I didn't speak any Arabic, but they invited me as a friend all over, and even one department of public relations in King Faisal Hospital, they took me for a tour around the city, and we went to Fort Mar Mosque, the old traditional place where the beginning of the Saudi nation is documented. Yeah, this was a very, very friendly welcome to me, and I realized that neurosurgery, or the whole hospital, and definitely neurosurgery, has a high level. So I thought this should really be a place where I want to work for a long time. So now I'm here for almost 7 years. My expectations were mainly based on targeting my professional views rather than private or private life views. So I knew that here the center of neurosurgery in King Faisal Hospital is very specialized. They are collecting patients from all over the nation. And so this is a very challenging area, and I thought definitely for my career as a neurosurgeon, this is a perfect place. And this came true, and actually more than true. So far now we are progressing in neurosurgery, all of us. And I really can say that we are one of the places in the Arabian world which are dealing with the most complex and difficult cases. For me, I thought the adjusting period was like 2 or 3 months. I thought if I feel comfortable and well and confident after 3 months, there's no reason not to continue. And this was very easy. I had very friendly colleagues, and the welcoming policy in this hospital is very specific, very detailed. So I remember during one of my first weekends, we went to the edge of the world, This big canyon near Riyadh, I was very amazed to see something like this. I thought it's only flat desert, only flat sand, but it has many mountains, so the scenery was very impressive to me. So this gave me a feeling of a kind of big family life in a hospital, although this hospital now has more than 9,000 employees. And it's not only a working place, it's also a social place for me. I came here as a single. I was never married before, I have to say. So the atmosphere is much more relaxing. Certainly me as a European, it's much easier for me. So the changes are very dramatic on the ground with their families. And this is something which we don't see that much anymore, because the population in Germany is much older. When you go out there, you rarely see young people or children. And here there's much more life on the streets than in many places than in Germany now. I mean, my friends in Germany said, what do you want to do in Saudi Arabia? Is this the right place for you? But after a few months, I met my wife. That was something that I really did not expect. Of course, she's Saudi, so everything was a bit different. Approaching a female in Saudi Arabia, I didn't know how to behave. I didn't want to do anything wrong. But obviously, I didn't do any mistake. It went out well. And yeah, now we have two little, nice, cute boys.
Me and Peter, we met at 2015 in King Faisal Hospital. I was doing part of my training actually as postgraduate training in epilepsy program. And he was just a newcomer to Saudi Arabia. He just joined as a neurosurgeon. And we knew each other through work. And despite all the differences that people see, we had many things in common.
I realized that she is a very, very interesting, warm-hearted person for me. And then we started to exchange some WhatsApp conversations. So nowadays it's very easy to communicate.
When we started to like each other, we started to focus more on the similarities between us. So this actually took us away from the variations that we had, and we spontaneously started to find that these variations started to be a point of strength rather than a point of weakness. So I think that the main thing that made our relationship goes fine, alhamdulillah, that was that we concentrated on the variability between us as a strength, not the other way around.
Sometimes in the beginning, when our first boy was a few months old, it was a bit tough because he woke up at night several times, and so I woke up, my wife woke up, we were feeding him. That was a bit difficult, but somehow we managed to do it. And my wife is a similar field as a neurologist, so she can understand my demands for my work very well. And luckily she's supporting me. And then we can manage quite easily even difficult times or nights with short periods of sleep. It goes well, it really goes well.
Handling two kids طبعا مع الحياة العمل with work is a real big challenge. أنا وبيتر بنشتغل في مهنة وهي خاصة بطب الأعصاب. فطبعا علينا a lot of pressure وعلينا كثير من الضغط في العمل. But in the same time, we like to give our kids a very specific kind of quality, time quality we would say. فبنحاول قدر الإمكان إنه يكون في عندنا clear aims and goals. وفي نفس الوقت إنه we try إنه نعمل لها time scheduling. يعني الوقت اللي نرجع فيه after work, this should be completely for the kids. And we try, and we're not using, for example, help of maid and a nanny, so we have to do this ourselves, and actually we do it, alhamdulillah, with a lot of pleasure. Weekends should be dedicated for kids, so we try as much as we can that we keep their communication just close to us. We have too many things to do for them. We have to focus on the language that they're talking and how they grow up, and it's a big challenge. بس هو أهم حاجة إنه يكون في goals وإنه يكون في time scheduling وإنه we try as much as we can. Sometimes we cannot do everything, but we take it with ease and we do it in the future, inshallah.
The German and the Saudi cultures are quite different in many ways. But I think I adapted quite well to this. First of all, I was curious about experiencing different cultures, other cultures than my home country. There's always, you can always learn from every culture in the world at least something.
يمكن من الحاجات اللي حبها بيتر بالسعودية بشكل مميز الشاورما. طبعا مش موجودة بألمانيا بس يعني I was surprised how much يعني he liked it once it was introduced to him.
The Saudi food is very different from German, but I think I picked out those diets from Saudi food which suit my stomach well, which is shawarma and molokhia. And I try to avoid the fat food.
يعني من أكثر الحاجات اللي تعلمتها من بيتر صراحة الcommitment. يعني before him I was committed on time, بس I would say الcommitment يعني in the German culture is very important. يعني حتى خرجاتنا لما بنخرج وكذا خلاص مثلا خلاص صرنا نتفق بشكل spontaneous إنه مثلا حنخرج الساعة 5 I get ready by 5.
What is my typical day in our neurosurgical section? On several days, not every day, but most of the days we have morning meetings starting at 7:30. Recently they are virtual, but we try to do them in a physical manner. And then every single patient is discussed, every patient that is recently admitted under neurosurgery, either in the regular ward or in intensive care. And we discuss their current status and we discuss the treatment plan, what is going to happen, when can they be discharged, how has the follow-up to be. And we also discuss the surgical cases for the very same day or for the next day. For example, we discuss which way to operate this brain tumor here, how has the position of the body and the head had to be in OR in order to have a very suitable and appropriate approach to remove the tumor. And sometimes we have slightly different opinions. We have senior colleagues and junior colleagues, young residents, and the younger residents we have to teach them as well. And then we discuss which is the best treatment option for the patient. 1 day per week I have clinics. So I'm not in OR on that day. So I have clinics from early morning until the afternoon. And there I see all the new patients that come to the hospital under my name. So I investigate them, I take the history and ask them about their complaints, what has happened to them, what is their recent problem, do they have any pain or do they have any weakness in their extremities. And then we check for the images. In neurosurgery we need a lot of image. Every patient is undergoing many images of the brain or of the spine. and then I assess them, and then I make a treatment plan. And during this clinic day, which is very, very crucial and actually sometimes more stressful than surgeries for me, because there's a high number of patients and they have a quite high level of expectations. They want to know everything about their disease and what the plan and the expectations, and I need to make the plan. I need to inform them when they have to come back to Riyadh, when can they go back, for example, to Jizan or to Taif, how long they have to be here in the hospital, and I need to inform them about what they have to expect from the expectation of the surgery. So what keeps me energetic to go on with surgeries? I think every surgeon in the world doesn't need that much energy to do his operation, because surgeons, you have to have the heart of a surgeon. For example, I think I have the soul of the physician and the heart of a surgeon. So I don't need to push myself into OR to do this operation. And the only thing that we really have to keep in mind, and which I always practice every day, I need to be very relaxed, I need to be fresh, I need to have proper sleep the night before, I must not have such a big meal that makes me not feeling well the next day. So I need to prepare myself all the time like a sports person who is on continuous training. And this works well, and it's always very satisfying to see a good result after the operation. The hardest part in our field, or in my field, I think, is that we again and again we realize our frontiers. So we have borders. We can cure quite a lot of patients. We can do many, many wonderful things. But sometimes we cannot really cure the people. Physically, the best break or the best compensation for me is swimming. I started swimming long ago when I was about 16 or 17 years old in a club. I never reached the level of a national high-ranking swimmer. I was never super fast, but I realized that swimming for me makes me feel very well. All over my body. Sometimes I have back pain after surgery, and when I swim half an hour, it's gone for a week. So I don't need any medication. This is my treatment for my body. And for my mind, to have some distance sometimes from hospital affairs and from diseases, I like to play golf. I haven't been back to Germany now for more than 2 years, 2.5 years ago, and I didn't even travel at all in that time. So we managed ourselves to have a good quality of life without traveling. Luckily, my mother came here. Yeah, she visited Saudi Arabia, she came here, she enjoyed the life and the nice house here with us. So this gave us some compensation. First of all, the local people here, all of them, they welcomed me in a very, very open and respectful, polite way. And I don't want to say that I did not expect it, but most of the people in Germany would not expect it. But it was the opposite. So that was a very, very nice experience. And even living in an Islamic country like Saudi Arabia can be very nice, can be very relaxing and very fulfilling. And yeah, maybe this was the most smashing experience I had here. If I have to leave one day, of course I have to go with my family. I cannot leave them here. What King Faisal life? Yes, because this occupies my life 95%. This is what I'm going to miss. And the sunshine, the blue sky. The blue sky, I can see here blue sky every day. 12 hours a day, and in Germany the sky is usually gray. In summer we have a short period of a few weeks or few months where there's blue sky, but here we have sunny daylight every day. Recently I pick up many words from my two little sons. Halib, I mean, I knew the word. Halib is their word feel, Today I learned the word feel is elephant. And of course I know all these vocabularies I can count, and Mustashfa, Amalia and Malish. Malish is sometimes very helpful. If people are not very happy, I start my conversation with Malish. Yeah, so these are all these words I learned here so far. But I have to learn much more. And actually I spent some time in my free time learning other things, I have to say, than Arabic language. So I was really occupied. So recently I'm proceeding my Arabic language during my daily practice with my patients. So now I switch to German language, and hopefully some of my German friends and family members can hear and see me. Also ich spreche jetzt auf Deutsch. Ich hoffe also, dass viele von meinen Freunden und Familienangehörigen mich in Deutschland das verstehen können. Und viele Grüße aus dem schönen Saudi-Arabien, wo der Dr. Peter Spangenberg ein wunderbares Leben hat.